Hey everybody, it's another edition of Damage Control, where you work through situations where real life happens and you get behind. I have a number of different dogs that I maintain. So it's really applicable for me across many dogs, but it could be applicable for you too if you just have one. Sometimes you have to do things a little bit at a time, either because you don't have time or because the dog doesn't have a lot of tolerance yet. Now, we have a little bonus here. I wasn't gonna do another segment today, but the storm rolled in and my older dog here, his hearing's not so good, so the storm doesn't really bother him, but it's pouring out there, so I'm stuck here for a little while. Let's make the most of it and do a little bit more grooming. All right. Now, this dog, Frodo, he's in really good condition actually, because before things got away from me, he was the last one that I'd gotten everything caught up. Because I knew that the puppies were coming and I knew that there was gonna be a shortage of time for me to do maintenance work, so I did a lot on him ahead of time. The reason I'm behind is because the puppies came early. Partly because it was a big litter, and partly because of miscommunication at the vet's office. I expected them at a later date than was actually their real due date. So, lesson learned there. Always do your own math. Don't just trust what you've been told by someone else. Fortunately, everything worked out okay, but that's why I ended up being quite significantly behind on some of my other dogs. I didn't have a chance to kind of park them, so to speak, like I did for him. However, that said, sometimes staying caught up and not getting behind means taking a dog in good condition and keeping them that way. So, his coats, his jacket's in great shape. Sure, I could do a little bit of maintenance. I could do some carding to get some undercoat out, maybe with my, I want to call it everything that it's not, with my Furminator. So, you know, that's something I could do that would help him be comfortable because it's summer. He doesn't have a lot that needs to come out, but that's something I could do. But really, the thing that I see that would cause me a problem soonest is we have the little burrs coming in my yard. So if you're not familiar with them, if you don't have them where you are, they're just little seed pods that have little hooks on them so they get stuck in the hair. The ones that we have are pretty minor. They're small and they're more like Velcro than like the big angry burrs. So if I have a chance, we'll talk about that otherwise. But if I leave them, they'll become a problem. So if I address it quick, I don't have a problem to deal with later. So I can generally, if they're very freshly into the coat, I could just lightly brush. He doesn't love brushing anymore because he's getting older. So he's a good example of just kind of, I'm going to secure him and I'm going to go slow and I'm going to go gentle, but I'm also not going to cater to that he doesn't want to. I know. And if I only get one leg done today, well, that's one leg more I don't have to worry about tomorrow. Lightly. These seem to mostly be coming out with just light brushing. So, and I want you to see that I'm restraining him by the elbow, not really by the paw. If I hold the paw, then he's going to be pulling back and we're in a tug of war and then we're in a power struggle. But it's a little bit of dog judo here that I lock the elbow with my non-brushing hand. And I lightly brush. I'm going to switch hands to do the other side. The more I can keep in contact with the dog, not put everything down, put him down, start over with the touching, but if I can maintain the connection, then it'll be a little better. I can brace his arm as he's moving it. I can brace his leg against my arm while I'm brushing it. Again, these are just some lower stress ways of maintaining control. Good boy. Now feel through there. Okay, no more burrs there. Now, if the burrs were a little worse, there were more of them, they've been in the coat a little longer, something like that, then you want to put something in the coat to address it. And the two things I really like to use to get burrs out are Cowboy Magic and Mojo by Davis. They're basically the same product. And so what I do there is I put just a little bit, it doesn't take much, maybe about the same amount as a dime or a nickel, rub it in my hands a little, and then let's put it where you can see it. Can you back up, please? Thank you. Then I just lightly rub it. It feels a little greasy at first, but it soaks into the coat really well. This coat's really dry actually, so I'm going to use a little bit more. Rub it in, and it kind of acts as a lubricant. And that's how come it's really helpful for the burrs. It makes them slide out a little more. Can you back up, buddy? Because we're showing the off leg here. Okay. So again, I'm holding his elbow and I'm lightly brushing. It just comes out a little easier now because I've got that Cowboy Magic in there as a lubricant. And again, he doesn't love it, but that doesn't mean the work doesn't need to be done. So all I can do is make it as easy and gentle as possible and go slow. Even though I might be in a hurry, I might be stressed in my life right now, that doesn't mean that I have to translate that to the dog. In fact, it's my responsibility to do my best to protect the dog from the stress in my life and not become impatient with him because I want to get a job done faster for my convenience. None of that's got anything to do with him. So in fact, because he really would rather not be doing it, I'm going to get through it so much faster and so much easier if I just kind of relax and slow down and not transmit my stress and my rush to him. All right, so that did get those burrs faster on the legs that I used the Cowboy Magic. Like I said, the Mojo by Davis is about the same thing. Just going to go ahead and use that for the rear legs. And part of what I can do here is I'm resting my hand underneath to just support him because he wants to dance a little bit. And I don't want to tell him, oh, be still, be still. I'm just going to help him do what I need him to do. Okay, so now I got the front. I'm still supporting him while I put it on the other part of the leg. There's some here in the tender. We call it the tender because guess what? It's tender. So we need to really be mindful about mats. And of course, it's where the finest hair is, and it's where they're most likely to get these little pin mats or whatever, that if we're brushing too hard, then we really brush into some tender areas. And then of course they're gonna fuss, and then they're gonna be less cooperative next time because we weren't taking their needs into account. Okay, so I've got the Mojo in here, and I'm holding the hair flat against my hand, and that way I can really get to it. If I'm trying to brush this area, the hair tends to curl underneath, and then it doesn't get brushed. So I'm using my hand as a platform for the brushing, kind of rolling that hair, the inside hair out, and it's supporting his leg, so that's helping him to be still. Good. So now I'm kind of locking his knee gently. Again, that just helps him be still, helps him be successful. So I can say, good boy. Make it easy for them, easier anyway, for them to succeed. So you can say good dog more often than you fuss. Then you say, no, be still, do this, do that. Easy. Now another thing with a dog who dances, if you bring the leg up tight, it's harder for them to do anything than if you try to stretch the leg out. Again, if you stretch it out, they have more leverage and they're gonna fight with you and you have a power struggle. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him pull the leg up there and then brush on this part of the lower, the hock, with the leg up there. Okay, and then the foot. Good boy. Good boy. All right, gonna put a little bit more of the mojo in the other rear leg. Get these burrs out before they turn this pretty good conditioned dog into a matted mess. And we're keeping it short because he's getting a little huffy and puffy. He's a little stressed, doesn't like it. Back up. Good boy. Okay, here's another trick. If they're fussy with you about a leg, they don't want you to work on a leg. In this case, he didn't love this. And when I pick up the leg, again, like I said, you know, then maybe we get in a power struggle because I'm holding it and he's pulling it and da-da-da-da-da. Here's the trick. I'm gonna pick up his other leg. Now he has to put the weight on this one. Now I can gently brush this area, the hock. He'd like to switch his weight, I can feel it. He'd like to lift this leg up, but because I'm holding this one up, this one stays weighted. I can do a little bit more work. Good boy. I can tell him he's succeeding instead of fussing because he's failing. All right, I'm gonna do the tender up here. I know you can't see that so much because I just did it on the other side. Okay, now here's another bit of dog judo. I'm gonna hold his leg up and out, but I'm not gonna hold his foot. I'm gonna hold his knee, his stifle, and brush down his leg. I'm holding it straight, so that makes it harder, again, for him to fuss with me. I don't need much time to get done what I need to do. Good boy. Sometimes compulsive restraint is necessary, but if we keep it short and sweet and we don't overuse it. Now, just real quick, I lift it up to do this one. There's a persistent one right here. Hear it. Need my glasses to see it. Where is it? I can hear it with the brush. All right, there it goes. It's just actually a little bit of a mat. Okay. Now, so these different ways that you hold the legs, that you hold the body, that you restrain the dog while you're working, reduces the amount of struggling you do, so you can spend more of your time actually doing the work and less of the time arguing with the dog. And that helps your relationship stay good. That helps you be quicker. Yeah, buddy. Now, I'm feeling his face. I feel some burrs in there too. But he's been pretty cooperative on the legs. They're a lot for him. So I'm just gonna save that for another time. Probably take me 5 minutes using the Cowboy Magic or the Mojo. Nice slicker brush. This slicker brush is nice because the tips of the pins are powder coated so that they're not quite as scrapey. But just a quick reminder, loose hand when you're holding brushes and when you're brushing. Don't use strength to brush. That's what hurts. That's why they don't like it and they fight with you. Keep the brush loose in your hand, and you have to go slower. You have to be more gentle. You have to be more mindful to get the job done, but that's what cultivates cooperation. That's how the dog learns to trust you more. And then when they trust you more, then they're more willing to put up with some of the other stuff that they really don't like. So we start with what's easy. Start with light brushing, practicing holding the brush loosely. And you can see his tail's up, so he's not upset. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Yeah. All right. Okay. We're going to call that quits for this session. You did good work, buddy. Sounds like the storm's clearing off. Maybe I can get on to the next thing I need to do to live this puppy lifestyle. All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye.